Yeah, so my career has started many years ago, so probably over 15 years ago, and I started predominantly working for in pharmaceutical industry, delivering change projects, and then somehow it's just evolved, and here I am today, a founder and the CEO of the Change Awards, and the newly appointed director of the Change Ready Workplace as well. So I'm trying to push the agenda to bring change management on the top of everyone's list, and make sure that that profession is actually recognized here in the market, in the UK market, but also most importantly globally as well. We keep continuing helping organizations and people within organizations to drive adoption and to drive change, and most importantly also to enable innovation within organizations. So we should be not only furthering the agenda of having change management as part of any change effort or project effort or any new strategy, but also we should be looking into developing the profession itself, and particularly I always get drawn to the innovation side of it.
Oh yes, I'm very interested in the innovation side and new things, new beginnings. What type of innovations do you mean?
Lots of different ones. So so when I think about innovation, I think about it from the people perspective. So within the organization, in order for the organization to develop, you actually need to invest in having a certain framework for individuals to allow them to innovate. Without that type of a framework, your organization is unfortunately going to essentially not going to grow. It is just going to sustain, and the growth of each organization is dependent on two factors. One factor is your, dare I say, business as usual, but you also have to have this additional layer, which is that innovation layer, which is that layer of we're not scared of failure layer. Without that layer, after a certain amount of time, your companies actually, many businesses have died off. Kodak, for example, right? It's one of the recent examples. So that's what I mean, and I believe that change management profession is one of those professions which is really set up at the right place to be able to help organizations to change their internal culture to make it more innovative.
Absolutely. And coming back to your career path, what areas, what problems did you face and resolve with innovation in your career in change or change in technology?
Well, there's quite a lot, because I think if you work with clients, first of all, you work with different clients and different organizations, right? So each client comes in with different sets of problems that they need solving, and you need to be able to add value whenever possible and however possible. So one of the biggest problems I can see that people have is not having enough flexibility themselves in order to deliver the value for the customer. Change management or working in technology, change management is actually very, very often utilized when it comes to technology type of projects. And the mistake I've seen people are doing is that they would literally lift and shift a framework to deliver a particular technology implementation, which is not always good, really, because you always have to be flexible. You always have to understand what the client wants and what is the internal organizational culture. You need to have that ability to understand your stakeholders. Some stakeholders are more happy to be able to go and showcase and talk about this and stand up and talk and make people aware. Some naturally are not. So you need to be able to flex and adjust your strategies to ensure that still the adoption is achieved, given that there would be some additional problems coming from the stakeholder perspective. So plenty of different ones, but this one just sprung to mind at the moment.
Oh, thank you, Margo. It's a key highlight. And in your current job, what are you doing in your current job?
So I've got a few jobs.
Okay.
So I've got a few jobs. So like I mentioned, one of the jobs is obviously being a CEO of the Change Awards, which is a big job. And with this one, obviously, we are launching the our third edition of the awards. We're really, really pleased because the first edition we've only focused on the UK market, and we literally that was phenomenal. We have oversold tickets to come to the event. It was just honestly phenomenal and a very humbling experience. I remember when I stepped on that stage and looked at this room full of people, I was gobsmacked. But then the second edition came, and I took a leap of faith and decided, well, let's see if change management profession is going to want to participate in it from different, geographical locations. So we've opened up to global, and they did, and we had lots of applications from countries, which also shows very, very interesting trends, I think, because it just shows the maturity of the profession across the globe. Countries like Australia, US, India, these are the countries that have applied, but many others as well, but just top 3 applicants would be from those 3 countries, which just gives you this helicopter view of where are the hubs of change management, where organizations are more and more recognizing that change is part of the progress and innovation, and obviously where the most types of projects are happening. So that's one of the things that I'm obviously focusing at the moment. Then the second thing is the Change Ready accreditation. It's a new thing, so we are implementing it to the market at the moment. And the whole idea about the Change Ready accreditation is that we are going to look at companies and assess them with regards to their ability to deliver change. And I think this is going to be such a change maker for the whole industry, because nobody else is doing that at the moment. Plenty of companies are already interested, and they recognize that in order to, like I said, become more innovative, have that culture within the business, they need to be looking at their people's strategies a little bit differently. So hopefully we are going to add value to those organizations as well, and provide them with that accreditation and the membership. And then also, most importantly, I still work for my clients, because I love my clients, as you know. This is how we met. Yes. And working for clients without naming, but I always enjoy implementations. It's fast paced, lots of things going on, and that's the thing that gives me a motivation to do a little bit more.
Fascinating. So is this what you find rewarding about what you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, the 2 big aspects. One aspect is that this dream for change management profession to become an actual profession. So we need that chartered status, like for example project management has, right? Yeah. I'm talking about here in the UK.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's thing number one. Then the second thing is, and I hope that some of the steps that I'm doing in the market, by disrupting the market, I'm actually building those blocks that hopefully will enable that at some point, even if it's not done by me, but maybe by somebody else, or maybe in many years in the future. But I hope that we are still in a position to at least provide that baseline. But yeah, the second thing is working with people has always been the driver for me. So for the profession, but also working with people and implementations, and getting my hands dirty.
Great, so this is a very balanced view, if you allow me to say so.
Balanced?
Yeah, it covers so many areas at the same time,
thank you,
which is great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm one of those people, but you know me, we talk about it all the time. I'm one of those people that I just cannot be bored. So
Yeah, that's great. And in terms of key projects in your career path that you have as milestones, are there any particular milestones in terms of change projects?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I don't think I've ever thought about it like that. But I think, everybody always remember their first, because this is where you learn the most. I remember I was working for, it was FTSE 100, and I think thankfully at that time I had a mentor within the organization, so I was able to come to her and say, look, I have no idea how to do this, can you help? But yeah, working for the FTSE 100, it was actually a technology implementation, third-party software implementation on a third party's in a supply chain space. It was quite complicated. That was a big one for me. And then, I think majority of my career, I think I spent working in pharma, I spent working in legal, where else? Delivered some technology projects. So there's quite a lot, and every single client, like I said, every single client is different, and it's not only always implementation. Sometimes it's strategy, sometimes it's learning, sometimes it's a process design or something like that. But most important people. Like, if you have a very good team, then you will always remember it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And how do you balance work and personal life? What is the way you are going through your time? How do you?
I don't.
I don't.
It's 6 o'clock today. We are just meeting at 6 o'clock. Yes, I was up since I think 6 in the morning, and the first meeting at 7. So yes, probably I don't very well. But you learn to do that. And I'll be honest, I don't work on my own. I have a team of people that works alongside me, and and they just do things on my behalf, because it's just too much. It's just too much to be able to do it all on your own. But I have to admit that balancing personal life and career can be quite challenging.
I understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always try to fit in that hour for exercise. I think that's important.
Yes,
Unless you have allergies. If you have allergies, you can't. Like, it's not enough.
What is your advice for women entrepreneurs in the fields of change and tech?
Oh my goodness, just go for it. I think, like, literally, I have spent way too long time thinking about things that I should do but I didn't do, or when should I do it. It's just go for it. These days it's extremely easy to start something and then to stop something and just admit, sorry, I can't do it anymore. People are very understanding. And actually, it's always best, if you are developing something, it's always best to find people who are interested in it ahead of you actually delivering it to the market. So whatever you're doing, figure out, just write a teaser, get people hooked on it, find that core of friends of your idea, because those supporters are always going to be there for you. And if it didn't work out, that's okay. Just start something else. Life is long. It's fine.
True.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking sometimes, it's a funny parable, because it's my best friend, one of my best friends, she said that to me once. She's like, well, if you post something on LinkedIn, it's not going to be that everybody's going to forget about it a week later. Because then all of the information just goes down and down and down and down. You don't scroll, for God knows how long. So that's my advice. Just go for it.
Yes, going and keep going.
Keep going, and it's okay. Find your tribe. Find people who can support you. Mental health is very important, and I'm not sure about. It may be not necessarily specific to any particular gender, right? But I think mental health is very important. So what is also important is not to take everything on you, just share everything with people, so you are not left to your own devices. So that's another thing that I would, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. It definitely does not come with kudos. 100% comes with lots of work, and if you think that you are busy, think about you're going to be probably double busy for a period of time until you are able to perhaps create some additional value, and therefore you will be able to offset some of the work to somebody else, but not at the very beginning.
Great advice. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm not sure if it's a good advice, but at least, personal view.
Oh, fantastic. I appreciate your personal view. And we discussed before diversity.
Yes.
Did you notice through the time you've been working in change any trends in terms of diversity and different
I have indeed, and I think it's not necessarily a uncommon view. There is probably a lot more women working in change management than men. it's very interesting, and I think that perhaps because I think that the way I speak to people and I ask them often how do they get in to do what they do, and a lot of those people would come from places like HR or learning and development, or maybe communications, which traditionally would be filled in by women, right? These roles are traditionally female roles, but I think it's changing. I can see that the younger people, way younger than me, I think it's more or less 50-50, because the career in change management is extremely varied. It's not for anybody. It is very demanding, because every single time you come in to a new place, you learn everything from scratch, and you have to do it within a week. So it's not for everybody. It's challenging, but it's extremely rewarding. So yeah. So these are the trends that I've been seeing, at least. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing, and you summarized so well the whole path of change management and the way change management has been evolving through the years.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
What do you foresee for the future, if anything, in the area of change management, in the area of technology and change management?
So I think that the more I think the more effectively what happens these days is that companies, I think, are losing the need to transform extensively. So if there are transformations within the organizations, I think they're going to be shorter and sweeter. Yes, it's short and sweet, literally, or there will be a need to have smaller improvement projects, or perhaps look at improvements which can be solved within a week even. So change management, in my opinion, goes hand in hand, and I don't know what the future is going to bring. I think last year I wrote a piece on this, and one of the things at that time, what I was thinking, is that change management is going to move into more senior levels within the organization. But now I'm thinking, sure, probably that is also correct as a trend, but also what is more correct is probably that it needs to be spread across the organization. So it's not only this way, but it's also that way in the organization. So I think that the change management profession, in terms of consulting part of it, will have quite a lot of challenging strategically projects to deliver. But I also hope that on the organizational side, the companies or people within the organization will be able to pick up some of the smaller things and just run with them. For example, when technology implementation happens, one could argue that it is pretty much a cookie cutter approach, right? So if it is a cookie cutter approach, why not deliver, or why not develop internal internal capability to deliver that type of technological implementation? Why do you need to go outside and source individuals who provide that capability? It may be that you can do it internally, or maybe you will employ somebody to help you design the model for implementation, and then just utilize that model to redistribute or implement within technology within different markets or across different stakeholders. So that's what I'm thinking. But I think change definitely is definitely walking alongside technology, and given that we've got such a lot of emerging technologies coming up, I think culturally teaching people what should they do or what shouldn't they do, and looking at regulations as well, coming up with different procedures and processes of how are we going to use the emerging technology within the business, which is also something that change management can help with.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to add that I didn't ask you today?
No, not really. No, thank you so much. It was a lovely conversation. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Margo.